doing it or you what? Not. Okay, the universe does not care about your excuses. So the first thing is that you got to be what? Proactive and take what? Responsibility. And I'm going to tell you what I did. When I was staying in that one-bedroom apartment off Fun Road, dead broke, starting up from nothing, driving around Hyundai, I said, guess what? I got myself in this situation. I got to behave myself out. See, most of us, we want to sit around and tell everybody how bad everything's going in our life. Let me tell you a secret. I learned this from Ted Turner. Keep your problems to yourself. They're your problems. Nobody else want to hear them because everybody got their own problems. Who would agree with that? That makes sense. And they say you can't talk your way out of a situation that you behave yourself into. You got to behave yourself what? Out of that situation. Okay? And so what I want you guys to understand, one of the key secrets is being proactive and taking full responsibility, okay, of your life, okay? That's number one. Number two, you got to begin with the end in mind first. So that means that you got to know what you want out of life. You got to have a vision of what you want. And you got to write that down. See, I'm going to tell you the biggest mistake that a lot of us make is that we've been beat up so long by corporate America, we scared to dream. But we scared that we're going to fail. But what you don't understand, you already done failed because you ain't got your goals and dreams. So you already in the fail zone. And you know how to feel. So what you scared of? Is everybody with me on that? You really ain't got nothing to what? Lose. Okay? Think about that for a minute. Okay? So you got to begin with the end in mind first. So you got to have a bigger vision of yourself. Okay? What do you want? See, most of us know what we don't want, but we don't really know clearly what we want. Because we think what we want, it got to be verified by somebody. No, it's your goals and your vision. Does that make sense? I don't care how silly people may think it is. Guess what my job is? Whatever you want, my job is to help you get it. I don't care what it is. That's what most people don't understand. It's not my duty to judge what you want. Is everybody with me on that? Okay? Number three, put first things first. I want y'all to put 3 stars beside it. This is where everybody mess up at in business. They don't put first things first. They put excuses first. How many people here have known people that say they're going to start something and they keep putting it off? Who know that? Who been on the job where you got people walking around with I'm going to get rich books, but they never getting that done? Right? You know why? Because they don't put first thing first. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you guys a secret. Since I'm a scientist, and this is not really a secret, but I'm going to tell you something that's so common sense that most people don't understand. I try to live my business life by principles called principles of timeless. They never go out of style. That's how come every business I've done, I went straight to the top because I use certain principles. Okay? Now I'm going to give you an example. In sciences, you might remember this when you was in high school. There is a law called the law of inertia. Okay? That means that if your body is in motion, it want to stay in motion. So if you're in a car, riding, somebody hit on brakes, everybody do like this, right? You know why? Because your body's already in what? Motion, and it want to stay in what? Motion. Also, if your body's at rest, it want to stay at what? Rest. That's how come a lot of y'all get up in the morning, you be like, oh, you trying to get up because your body's at what? Rest. If you notice on a manual shift automobile, if you take off, what gear you got to put it in? First. If you put it in fifth gear, what's going to happen? It's going to cut off. It ain't going to go nowhere, right? And what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is that that principle is a principle, period, and it works 100% of the time. So when you put first things first, you got to put everything into your business. See, a lot of people get scared to put everything in their business because they think what people are going to say. But guess what? When you start making 50, 60, 70, 100, 2, 3, 4, $500,000 a month income, okay, then you're going to find out, man, I'm glad I did put first thing first. Is everybody with on that? But the problem is, we take off in third, fourth, and fifth gear in our business. But we take off in first gear on the job and excuses. Is everybody with on that? Because we keep making excuses. Well, when I get a divorce. Well, when I get married. Well, when the kids get out of school. When they go and when they start school. And we keep making excuses. When I get back from the vacation. When I go on vacation. You know what I mean? And so what you're doing is you revert back to those bad habits that keep most people broken. That's procrastination and indecisiveness, not knowing what to do and follow through on. Is everybody with on it? Okay? The next thing, think win-win. In other words, stop always thinking that everybody's trying to get over on you. Yes, there's a lot of crooked people out there. We know that. But guess what? There's a lot of good people out there as well. Is everybody with on that? So the glass can be half full or half what? Empty. Okay? So you want to always have a win-win attitude. Okay? The next thing, first seek to understand, then to be what? Guess what we do? We do the exact opposite. I see new people come in and say, Rob, you need to understand where I'm coming from, what I've been through, and I got bipolar, tripolar, and I got all kind of problems, but I do want to do this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, it don't work that way. Okay? If you want to work our business, you need to first seek to understand what we involved with our business is all about. Okay? That's what most people don't understand. Okay? Number 6, synergize, team building, working with people. I want you to put another star beside this one here. This right here is very important because you're going to have to learn to get along with a lot of people. And all of us is different. Okay? We have a training program called personal characteristics, and we label people in different characteristics. I'm going to give you an example. We label a person as a shark. That means that they're money motivated. Okay? If they're a whale, they like to help people. If they're a dolphin, they like to have fun. And if they're urchin, they love they love facts. They want to read stuff. They need to read the website. And they need to go and check out the Better Business Bureau. These people are very aiming. Okay? So when we label all these people in different categories, what you got to understand is that you got to learn to work with all these people. Because everybody in this room, all 4 of these is your characteristics, but one of them is your dominant one. Some of you guys say, hey, I'm about the money. Some of you guys like, oh, I don't care about money as long as they didn't hurt nobody. I want to know, is this product hurting the ozone layer? Y'all heard the people in tongues about putting up all their seaweed. You know what I mean? Right? Then you got some people saying, when the party, when the cruises, and when can I get a BMW? They want to have fun. And then you got a lot of people in that's real uptight and stuff, and I need to do my research. I need to go to the National Library of Medicine and check out this seaweed and exactly what's in it and what's the enzymes. And all this stuff, right? So everybody in here has all 4 characteristics, but one of them is your dominant trait. Now, where I'm going with this is that you as a person are going to have to learn to work with all 4 characteristics. See, a lot of y'all might be sharks, but you work with a whole bunch of whales on your team. You got to learn to work with everybody. Some of y'all's a whale, but you mad because everybody under you all talking about making money. You know what I mean? So you got to learn that all of us is different. And that's what makes your team complete if you understand how to synergize and work with everybody. Does that make sense? Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Number 7, you got to sharpen the saw and invest back and update your game. Now, I'm going to tell you the saddest thing I've seen in this industry, in a lot of industries. I'm going to give you an example. Kmart, IBM, Xerox. All these companies were once big deals. But because they did not update their game and sharpen their axe and get with new technology, come out and reinvent themselves, most new people that know about computers, they think IBM was a rap group. Is everybody with me on that? But back in the day when we came up, if you had a job just in the mail room at IBM, you thought you had it going on. Is everybody with me on that, right? Okay, who talks about Kmart now? See, they had a real good old boy network, and they never updated their game. Okay? I want everybody to understand. You got to learn, you got to invest back in your business. The biggest problem we have in our network marketing business is that it's so easy to start making cash, and people never put money back in their business. They just keep taking out every week. All they checks, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm like, okay, you coming to the conventions. Or you taking in your team out to dinner once you hit 100K. You see what I'm saying? Oh, no, I don't do none of that stuff. Why? You need to invest back in your business. Okay? I get a lot of people hate on me a lot of times that, well, all the time I hear Robert Dean name. Robert Dean is, I got people in other companies using my magazine, using my name to train their people and all this stuff, and then they want to write bad things on the internet. So this guy thinking all that. I'm going to tell you why everybody mad. We had 400 millionaires in my previous company. All of us were millionaires, but guess what separated me from all of them? Number 1, I had 10,000 people to come through my home just to inspire them that they can live like this. Number 2, I've taken out over 20,000 people to dinner. Number 3, I gave away cars. Number 4, I had my own conventions every year. Is everybody with on that? Now, all of us was at the top, but none of them ever did that. Am I right, y'all? Not one of them. But then they want to play a hate and say, why everybody talking about Robert Dean? Because I invest back into my business. They did. Is everybody with me? They ain't never gave nobody a payday candy bar. You know what I mean? But they was rich. See, and you're going to see it in your business. A lot of y'all going to get to the top, But guess what's going to separate you? Is what you done gave back to your team. See, you can be a millionaire in network marketing and never come to another meeting, ever. I knew people that in my previous company, I didn't see them every 3 to 5 years. They didn't even know we had a new product. Now, but they can't hate on me because I became a real big brand icon because I gave back and they didn't. Does that make sense? So I want you guys to understand, don't get in this business and have a scarcity mindset where you're trying to penny pinch everything and you don't want to give back. And you got to start even when you ain't got no money. That's the same philosophy of going to church. When you go to church and they take the tithe, you don't just do like this when they pass the pot. Is everybody with me on that? You know, even if you got a penny, you put something. Who know what I'm talking about, right? Okay? So what I'm trying to get you to understand is that people say, well, when I get rich, I'm going to give back. No, you got to give back from the time you get started, and your giving back just get bigger as you get bigger, as your income get bigger. Does that make sense? And then last but not least, you got to go from effectiveness to greatness. In other words, when you start building your business, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. And the reason why I tell people to look at their business different. I hear a lot of people say stuff like, well, network marketing is not for me. My question to you is, your job wasn't you, but they were the only one that hired you. You didn't dream about your job that you got now when you was in high school, like, I can't wait till I get this job. Think about it. Your job, they just happened to hire you. And then you learn to adapt because they were paying your bill. Who would agree to that? That makes sense? What I'm trying to get you guys to understand, don't get caught up in talking about this is not for me, because you don't know what's for you until you do it. Do it. And then say, you know, after doing this, I don't like it. Is everybody with on that? But don't ever try to prejudge it, okay? Because I got a friend of mine that wanted to be a baker, actually out of Nashville. And some of you guys know Sam out of Nashville. He's had his own baker, all this kind of stuff. And what he did was he went and worked at a bakery before he opened up his bakery. He just worked for free. Told the guy, you ain't got to pay me a dime. I got my regular job. When I come over here, I just want to learn everything I can about being a baker. And then what happened was when him and his wife got into it, they found out that they really didn't like doing it because they didn't know behind the scenes that it was that tough. You know what I mean? That, you know, you got to throw away most of the stuff and all this kind of crap. And it takes up time for people to come in and eat sweets and fuss, and everybody want to lose weight. And now that stuff is bad for you, supposedly. You know what I'm saying? And so what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is that when you go from effectiveness to greatness, this is when you get in your own zone. Now, what I did in network marketing, I'll be honest with you, I didn't like getting up in front of the room doing a presentation. I didn't like doing none of that kind of stuff. I didn't like going to nobody's home that I didn't know and do a meeting. Okay? But when the money started kicking in, I was like, you know what, I like this. You know what I'm saying? So I said, okay, I can go to work a job, make a little minimum an hour, or I can go and do this and start making money. And what people don't understand is that you have to give your business time to grow because you got to give yourself time to grow. Because a lot of times people say, well, I've been working hard, I've been doing this. Yeah, but that's your definition of working hard. Okay? When I sit down and talk to people, and I'm going to give y'all a real eye-opener. In network marketing, the average person works 30 minutes a week. Now, what if you work 30 minutes a week on your job? How much you make? Don't you think about that for a minute. Okay? See, you got to get real, brutally honest with yourself. That's why it's about you personally growing. Okay? And as you grow, you start to realize, hey, I'm looking at my business now a little bit different than I used to. Does that make sense? And then once the vibration started to change on you, it started attracting people. Okay? I've been around people, and people come up to me and say, hey, I'm open for opportunity or something like this, and people think I paid them to say that. I'm like, I don't know them. Okay? But I've been working on myself all these years, and I'm so confident in what I do, I done got those results. So my belief is beyond belief that it can happen for anybody. Does that make sense? Okay? But you have to cross that bridge by understanding these are the 8 habits of highly effective people. Okay? Now, this is what I want to do here in closing here. I want to kind of give you something to think about. Okay? People in your life, either they are adding to your life, subtracting, or dividing. Okay? Now, what most people don't understand is that we have a lot of people close to us that are attached to our heart. They are always subtracting. They want to borrow money. They want to drain you mentally with all their mental garbage. Who knows what I'm talking about? They call you, girl, you know he done did. By the way, you got $100. You know what I'm saying? So they study subtracting, study subtracting, study subtracting. Okay? And then what you don't understand is that you're a human too. And what you don't understand is that you get what we call cooked in the squat, where you're so physically tired, you don't even know it. You don't even know why you're tired. Okay? It's because you got a lot of people real close to you that's subtracting. Now you got to also watch these people that are divided. These are the people that always run to you, telling you what somebody else said. You got to watch the messages. Is everybody with on that? Okay? And then the key thing is to have people around you that's added to your life and you added to their life. That's what's going to keep you going. Is everybody with on that? So be careful of the people that you attach to your heart in business. Okay? Be very, very careful of that, because if you got a whole lot of people around you that's attracting, you're going down. It's going to be hard for you to win. So a lot of times people don't even know why their business done fail, because their inner circle, everybody around them, been subtracted. Does that make sense? So you got to watch that. Okay? You got to watch that. And you got to watch and make sure that you're not a subtractor. Does that make sense? Got to watch that. Okay? Is everybody with on it? Yeah. Okay? Because I'm giving you some mental things that's going to keep you going when you get tired, because you are going to get tired, because you're working a job, you balance your family, you're dealing with all the negative people, and you're trying to learn a new business, and you're dealing with the disappointments within the business. So you got to learn to handle multiple chaotic situations and remain focused. Is everybody with on it? Okay? Now watch this right here. I want you to see this right here. Okay? Now, a lot of people focus on their concerns. They focus on stuff like who is not signing up, who quit, and they do, right? They focus on what friends and family think about their business. They focus on rejections, getting no's. They focus on stuff like, I don't have time, I don't have no money, I'm too young, I'm too old. Will it really work? Nobody showed up at my meeting. What others are retailing the product for? Crying over past due bills. Crying over past opportunities that did not work for them. Okay? Now, this is what I want you guys to understand. This right here is what will put you in what I call a reverse negative momentum in your life. And so what you start doing is you start micromanaging every little thing that's negative, and you start saying, that's a sign. It's really not for me. Right? Because you are so concerned about your concerns, and what you don't understand is most of this stuff on here is nothing you can do about it. If it started raining, you can't sit around here and cry to everybody it's raining outside. Can you believe it's raining? And now I'm mad at the news man because he said it was going to be sunny. And then instead of you just getting an umbrella and going about your business, you sit around here whining about something that ain't nobody can control. Who would agree to that, right? That's the same thing happening in business. I remember my dad used to sit at me and say, you really think you're going to get rich with that juice? And they used to laugh at me. I had friends of mine tell me, man, you don't come around, you don't do this. And then guess what? I disappeared from all those negative people. And 36 months later, when I came up like Killer Jaws on crack. Is everybody with me? Right? Now I got them same friends said, Rob, we were raised up together. Don't come to my house no more for different holidays. And I got tired of my wife and kids and everybody crying about how successful you are and they ain't did that. I'm serious. I've had my best friends tell me that. Okay? And I'll never forget, I went to one of my friend's house, and he had to spend all his money on a movie theater. He had like a little screen TV and had a couple speakers on the side, a couple in the back, and he was just really bragging about it. I was like, man, this is fantastic, you know. And we sit there and watch TV and all this. And then about several months later, he came over to my house, and I got a ticket booth, movie theater, and all that in the house. And he got mad. Said, man, you sitting there let me brag on my thing, and you up here got a Magic Jump Theater in your house. You know what I'm saying? I said, no, because you on that level. You work hard for that. That's your mindset. Okay? We're totally two different levels because of the entity that we use to gain the stuff that we got. You working 2 jobs as a cop and working as a security guard at Kroger's at night. I got my own network marketing business. It's totally different. Is everybody with on that? Okay? And so I want you guys to understand, stop focusing on your concerns. This is what I want you to focus on. Okay? I want you to focus on what you have influence on. Like, number 1, making your list. All of us can make a list. You got that influence. Nobody can stop you from making a list for who? For you. And you can add new names to that list all the time. Okay? Is everybody with on that? Guess what? Peaking interest every day. Talking to one person a day, guess who got influence on that? You do, right? I mean, you can talk to anybody you want to about your business. Who would agree to that? Right? Number 3, doing e-parties and one-on-one meetings. You have control of that. Okay? You have control of that. Think about the things that you have influence on. 4, plug it into the weekly training and conference calls. Think about that for a minute. Don't you have influence on that? Can you control that? Right? Next thing, self-improvement. Listen to positive CDs and read books. Do you not have control of that? Right? Instead of watching American Idol and Atlanta Housewives, won't you start to build your mindset with some good stuff that's going to help support your goals and dreams? Does that make sense? Because I remember one day somebody asked me something about American Idol or something. I was like, no, I don't. Last time I even heard about that, some guy named Ruben won. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, I don't know too much about it. Oh, man, you don't know what you're missing out on. So I'm going to tell you the reason why people look at those kind of things, because those people's lives are more excited than your own. See, your life needs to be more exciting. Who would agree to that? That makes sense? Right? Next thing, thinking about your goals and dreams. Can you control that? Of course. Right? Going looking at new homes, new cars, getting different magazines in your house, okay, that support your goals and dreams and stuff. See, these are the things that you have control over, right? Attending LIMU events, your team events, see, you have control of that. See, the problem is we so focus on our concerns that we don't have the mental energy to focus on what we got influence on. Who would agree to that? That makes sense? Okay? Right? Now watch this right here. This red part represents concerns. The white part represents influence. So the more you focus on the red, the unhappy your lifestyle is. The more you focus on your influence, the better your lifestyle becomes. But you can never get rid of concerns, okay? But you can focus on what? Your influence. Is everybody with me on that? But see, a lot of us keep focusing on our concerns, and this is the very reason why we have a very unhappy lifestyle, because we keep focusing on the concerns. Okay? Let me tell you something. I remember back in the day, when I was married, I remember my wife came home and she was crying about all the bills, and I started laughing, and she thought I was crazy. She's like, how can you be crying? I mean, how can you be laughing and we got all these bills? And this was right when Call ID first came out. Y'all remember that back in the day, right, on your regular phone, right? She said, Rob, why are you laughing? Because I said, it's amazing how you done ran these bills up. It's amazing, right? And then you crying about something that you don't went out and spent, but you weren't crying when you were swiping the credit card. Right? Think about it for a minute. Remember I said you can't behave yourself out of a situation that you behave yourself what? Into. Right? And so when the bill collector used to call my house, I would answer the phone. Okay? And a lot of times I said, look, if I had it, we'll pay it. I ain't got it. I said, but I promise you this, once I get it, I will pay it. Is everybody with me on that? And she thought I was nuts. Okay? And so what I started doing was I would just pick a few bills that I can pay and put them in this hat that I had hanging on my bedroom door, and I would pick them out of the hat and them the bills I pay that month. And a lot of times when the bill collector called, I said, look, you keep bugging me, you're not going in the hat this month. Everybody with me on that? And so what I did was I took a negative and I turned it around, and it's a true story, right? As I started focusing on my business, okay, and then we even divorced, okay? But guess what I did when I divorced? I gave everything. I went back and paid the house off. I bought her 2 brand new cars. Is everybody with on that? Then I went to all the bill collectors in my new red Ferrari. Pulled up at the collection agency. Hey, I'm Robert Dean. Y'all called me a few years ago. I need to know the balance. And the guy was like, what? Really? I was like, yeah. Stroke. I went and did all and paid all my bills off. Okay? But the moral of the story is I worked my way out of that situation. I didn't sit around calling all the relatives because most of my relatives broke anyway. So I won't sit around calling them, can you help a brother out? Can you do this? Can you do that? Guess what I did? I sucked it up and said, I'm a man. I got myself in this situation. I didn't blame her because I married her. So it's my fault too because I married her. Is everybody with on that? Remember when he said take full responsibility? See, a lot of y'all blame y'all spouse. You the one married them. It wasn't like you was at the wedding day with a gun to my marriage. Right? Think about it. And see, so a lot of times we always want to shift the blame, shift the blame, shift the blame. And at some point, just like, I'll be honest with you, all my life I've been over like close to 400 pounds. I said, hold on. I can't keep blaming the man. Why do you keep making that, all these restaurants with them drivers? Waffle House was like crack. I'm sitting out there in the car like, oh, I got to go and get me a pork chop and egg. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn, and that's how come I dropped over 100-some pounds, because I had to learn that I got to take full responsibility. Is everybody with on that? And so what I'm trying to teach you guys is none of us is perfect. But the key thing is that you're in an environment where people it's not just about the money. Of course we all need the money. I know everybody heard the economy bad and all that. But let this part of your life right now start to help you build character. Okay? Because when I'm tell you something, when you down, you start to find out how tough you really are. Food to be there. Oh yeah. And you start to do things like, man, I didn't know I can survive like this. You know what I'm saying? And so guess what? So when you go up, you can appreciate others that are down and not just look down on them. That makes sense? Okay? So wherever you at, okay, as you coming out of that situation, there's two things that you can let happen to you when you go through those bad experiences. You can let that experience rub you into pebbles and tear you down, or you can let that experience rub you into a shining diamond, all in how you interpret that hurt. Always remember that. Is everybody with on that? So let your bad experience, every bad experience that you go through, look at yourself honestly and say, what have I learned out of this situation that I can help make me a better person? Because I'm going to tell you a secret. Wherever you at is never going to be forever. Always remember that. Okay? Always remember that. It's just a season. Everybody had their season. Right now, a lot of y'all got winters and storms and tsunamis going on, right? Some of y'all got a light winter. Some of y'all got a windbreaker winter. Is everybody with on that? But we all going to have those seasons. That makes sense? So the key, and I learned this from a movie I watched, it says success, love, preparation. You got to be prepared. If you want to live long, you got to start prepared, eating right, doing all that. If you want to make money, you got to be prepared, start disciplining your disappointments, and start focusing on your business. Put the first thing first. That makes sense? Because the more you procrastinate, the more you do all those things, the number one thing that kills all of us is neglect. Neglect to eat right, neglect to build your business, neglect. It's all about what? Neglect. That makes sense? So I want everybody to understand, as you go out here and build your LIMU business, and for new people, you decide to do this, okay, or any business, these are all principles that are timeless, okay? And I don't care what opportunity you get involved with. Just remember this right here. You are the same common denominator in all the opportunities. Just remember that. Is everybody with me on that? Okay? So if you want this situation to get better, guess who got to get better? You. Is everybody with on that? Okay? So with that, people, I don't want to overcook y'all grits tonight. I hope you guys learned some good stuff today. My name is Robert Dean. It's been a fun, pleasing pleasure, as well as a privilege. God bless. I see y'all at the top, and I am leaving. Thank you. Okay?